is also able to be less. It's insane. He's the definition of two different there's no tweets all out. Right now, he's and as soon as they say we don't need to medicate you, back on train until his next point, whatever that may be. You gotta understand, these are VA times. I don't really get that VA time for experience. Understand that we have the other ones. It's like scratchy right. Sure. There's a revolving door of doctors. There's whole chain, so the pencil attorney has at a given time. It's an information. You were considering. That's what I'm. And if you had any idea. I don't know that. So when did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's. Sorry, when did you, what did you make it?
Just
Okay. So you made it chef or whatever. Normally I would be on Sunday, but I'm in my Sundays. Yeah.
You sat there.
Saturday morning.
I don't know, Bill, let me check my smartphone.
smartphone.
10:15, Bill, is what my
You're ready to go.
smartphone.
Hey, tell me when.
All
set?
Yep.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone for coming out for this week's briefing. We have Bill Syrett this week, another Penn State meteorologist. Be changing up in the next couple of weeks, some newer people. But thank you, Bill, for being here. I know we have another warm weather week coming out. Looks snowless once again, so very exciting. But yeah, Bill, whenever you're ready, feel free to.
Thanks, Christian. And I brought some tasty cake products for any Philadelphia fans who are feeling sad and would like some Philly junk food to get them through this briefing. So help yourselves. I have crimpets. Boy, they've gotten small. Cupcakes. And I don't know what these are. Peanut butter things? Cupcakes.
I couldn't care less about the Eagles, but I'm hungry.
Anyway, come up, help yourselves. As Christian said, yeah, you're getting a lot of Penn State attack lately, but there'll be National Weather Service and AccuWeather people. You know, not just old people like me. Ken Reeves, as you've heard before, went to school in Dr. Neese's and my time, and he was a really nice guy, and he worked at AccuWeather for quite a while and brought together the department at AccuWeather after a relatively acrimonious period in the 80s. So I'm happy to be a part of honoring Ken's legacy for this briefing. Okay, I'm happy to see if it works. All right, so what we'll do is I'll just talk a little bit about climatology since I manage the weather station. I like data and things like that. You know, temperatures, where they've been relative to average. I think you know it's been warm. Precipitation, snow statistics, and then a little bit about the forecast, whether February is a lost cause, probably. And snow, I like snow. Some of us do here, I think. So, and then relative to snow anyway, what do we think March is going to be like? I really don't know. I'd like to hear opinions. And yeah, you know, there's the joke about State College weather. Nothing going on like usual. Okay. So I'll use today, which will be February 14th, in the State College statistics. Our average high is 35. We're probably past that already. That's a 130-year average. The 30-year average and the 10-year averages are actually lower. So we've had some colder days recently But overall, we can expect to be around 35 for a high, around 20 or 19 for a low at this time of year. The record high for, well, tomorrow in the records, but it would be this afternoon, 61. We shouldn't challenge that. The record low is 11 below zero. We certainly won't challenge that. And I'd like to always ask this question just to get an answer. Well, yeah, of course, that's why you ask questions, to get an answer. Average daily temperature range is about 16 Fahrenheit. In July, it's about 20, and in December, it's about 13. Anybody have an idea? Students, we'll start with, I hope, why the temperature range, difference between the high and low, is lower in December than it is in July. Go ahead.
It's probably cloudier.
Yeah. Yeah. So what does that do to daytime highs?
It kind of mitigates it.
Sure. Less sun reaches the ground, less heating of the air above it. And then at night, what's it do?
Keeps it warmer.
Okay. Does it act like a blanket?
It's like radiator.
It's a radiator, right? It's sitting at a temperature higher than outer space. It's radiating back. And water vapor does absorb some heat escaping the Earth's surface. Okay. So we're at 16, December was 13, we're on the right track. Anyway, more sun. Okay, more excitement. I think the first time I did this was near Thanksgiving, so that's what that cartoon. So, but I like it. I always like that. Okay. To date, these are February stats. Average highs to date for February 34 and 26. The long-term average low. Record high for the entire month is 74 on the 25th in 2017. So it wasn't too long ago we did that. Record low, 20 below zero. It is a long time since we've done that, 1899. Average about 2.5 inches of liquid equivalent. Wettest month, February has the lowest maximum. Why do you think that is? I can think of two reasons. So 5.86, that's kind of a yawner as a wettest February. So why is it such a low number? What do you think? Go ahead.
It's generally pretty dry in at least more of the northern.
I mean, it's
hemisphere.
fairly cold
Once
this
you
time
get
of
further
year.
into the winter anyway, it's like when the waters are still a little bit warmer earlier on.
Yeah, a little less water vapor in the atmosphere on average. Okay, there's another reason. Cameron.
The lakes are colder, and that might
Well, a little bit, although you know how well we do with lake effect here. Really,
28 days.
28 days. That's it. It's a short month. So, we're losing about 10% of the number of days. So that's the other reason. Average snowfall, almost a foot. Woo-hoo, we've had 0.2 so far this month. I think we've had, 0.08 of an inch of liquid too. I mean, it's top 3 driest month to date. Actually, that's just as big a piece of news. Least snowy February trace, snowiest 42 inches. So we can get snow. And the snowiest February day is 16.5. That happened in 1961. All right, so through yesterday, how warm has it been? It's been warm. Well, relative to the 130 or so years of data we have, we're 4th warmest. Trailing the warmest stretch to start February and including January by a couple degrees, but we're well in the top 10 by 3 degrees. So it's been toasty, and I've got more examples of that. This is some quality Excel graph I just did. This is the average daily high for the first 40-something days of the year, average low. And if you look, these are what actually happened, the highs and the lows. And the whole month of January, we never had a minimum temperature at or below average. And we only had one day with a mean below average in the entire month of January. Then we had this amazing cold spell where we got down, maybe 10 degrees below average for 2 days. And we've warmed up again. So not quite unprecedented, but if you think it's been warm and boring, yeah, you're right. Overall trends, this is just annual temperatures for the period of record, going up, not steady. You can see a minimum in the from the 50s to the early 80s, and then temperatures have started up again. Any reason why we're warming over the long term? What do people think? Go ahead. What do you think?
Increase CO2.
Increased CO2 probably has a part of that. What else? What else could do it, at least in State College? What?
Buildings near the observing site.
Yeah, there's more buildings and there's more people and there's more cars, and it's kind of an urban heat island, not a big one, but that has some effect, I'm sure, as town becomes small city. All right. So let's just write off February. Let's assume that nothing's going to happen. I mean, there's still a small chance, I guess. What can happen in March? We got to pin our hopes on March. We've had 4 feet of snow in March in State College. So there's hope. And as recently as 1993, we had 42 inches in the month. As I'll show you in a minute, that's on the strength of 2 storms. But the 90s, as you see there, had 2 of the top 3. And then they're kind of scattered all around, but nothing in the 2000s. Okay, so this is a little tricky. This is the average March snowfall per day, cumulative. Okay, you get up to 9 inches or so. And this is from 93. So this is kind of how snowy Marches work around here. We had about a foot of snow over a 2-day period, and then we had over 2 feet of snow in about most of it in a day or two in mid-March. Anything special about March of 93 that you've ever heard about? You ever hear of the superstorm? Yeah, they talk about it. Okay. Yeah. Well, some of us lived it. Ooh, it was so exciting. It was nice. It snowed. It was Saturday. Spring break was ending, I think. And it snowed hard all day and was windy and beautiful. Haven't seen that since, 94, because it happened the next year. Actually, something similar, but wetter. So that's how you do March snows, though. It's usually 1 or 2 big storms. You don't nickel and dime as you get later in the year. Okay. There's another funky one. It's from 1990, 89, 90. These are all the winters up until the present. The brown is the average accumulated snow each winter. It resets at July 1st. So that's what you're seeing. 43.8, I think, is the 1991 to 2020 average in State College. So here's the 90s. These are snow season, okay? Man, I was getting a little tired, so now I feel energized. I don't know what the hell, I still don't know what the hell that is. We had some really good seasons. And then after that, 2003, 4, 3, 4, 2, 3 were pretty good. And then boring pretty much the rest of the time. We have not, I guess we just snuck out an average winter a couple years ago. We're struggling to do it again this year. All right. Ben Reppert sent this around to a few of us a while ago, a week ago maybe. He just looked at La Nina years and what you can expect in February temperatures here in State College. Looks like that's working out pretty well so far. Above average in the east and mainly below average in the west. That's not looking like a bad analog, what we've seen so far, at least. Okay, I do teach Medio 413, so I just threw this in. Anybody in, Kevin, you're back there, yeah. So just for something in giggles. Okay, so now forecast. It's NBM stuff, all kinds of things. Let's see if I can zoom in. Should be able to. Maybe I can. So we're going to try because I'll probably kill the screen. So, okay, high temperatures. You can probably not read it, but 60 is the highest number, right? And by the time we get to Wednesday, we're pushing 63, maybe 65 for a high. And then we cool off pretty substantially, not much below average, if any, but we get down near average for Friday and Saturday after some showery and warm weather on Thursday. So if for some reason Thursday ends up with a little bit of sunshine, we could have another very warm day in there. After that, yeah, we respond again into midweek next week. And the temperature, then it gets pretty uncertain after that. I'll show you another graphic in just a minute with the European ensembles. They do get very chaotic by midweek next week, which is not totally unexpected, but it really is quite a substantial difference. Hey, look at this, a lot of clouds. Whew, man, that's hard to believe in State College. But, oh, wow. There's a chance of snow when we get there. What's the scale? This goes up from 0 to 1 inch. So, yeah, let's just get excited about that. So that's the national blend of models from this morning. Okay, some other things to look at, other sites that I like to watch. Weather Prediction Center, Marissa brought this up before. So let's see if it's working now. They had two of the same days on the forecast. Let me refresh this actually. Okay. So yeah, I think they now have brought it up. So we will have a very weak frontal passage where we're having it, I think. A few showers to our north. There could be even flakes up there. Then we move ahead. Maybe we do. There we go. That weak front. Oh yeah, here. See, day 2. Watch. This is day 2. Look at the cold front offshore. Hey, Kevin, what do you see? Can you tell what's going on with this front?
Whoa.
Oh.
You're here?
Yeah.
That's
What's missing?
a warm bit.
You got it. We want at least one warm pit there. Just like this beauty down here, well, you don't have a warm pit here. So how do you go from occluded to cold without a warm site? That's always my beef. But from day 2 to day 3, there's a little issue. So they haven't updated day 3. Something's going on. WPC. All right, so the hell with that. Let's move out a little farther. So here comes our Thursday system. Boy, if it were cold enough, you might be almost excited that we could manage to get some mixed precipitation or even snow. However, that's not going to be the case. Then here's Friday that a cold front goes through after a storm, pretty much like they all do, slide up to our west and then go into New York State and into Canada. Pretty good pressure gradient, strong, probably windy day on Friday and chilly. But again, nothing below average. Saturday, high pressure begins building in to our south, so your Bermuda high kind of sets up again. And maybe it doesn't bring beach weather, but it certainly doesn't mean it's going to be cold as we get into next week. And then the uncertainty you can kind of see starting, low pressure to the north, that's a given. There's also this system and how things get together is a little uncertain. Models, and certainly with me that it's uncertain. So that's the hope I guess we have for a little bit of snow. If you can get a little cold air in here before we get a little moisture from the southern stream, maybe we can pop something up. Okay, let's look at some ensembles. I like this site, weather.us. This is the Euro. These are, I don't know how many members there are. There's a lot of them. But this is today, okay? Mean, for the European, this is yesterday's run. Well, yesterday afternoon's upper 40s. And tomorrow similar. And then there's our warm day where the average is close to 50 in the Euro. And Thursday is our wet day. Cloudier day, so the diurnal range is lower. And then there's the cold push behind the system. But this certainly doesn't look like snow. The temperature, this is freezing on this line, so it doesn't get below freezing until it dries out behind the front. So could be some lake effect snow showers and flurries here Friday. Let's see some snow, but it's not looking too exciting. Farther up, here's where it goes. I mean, there's pretty good agreement for a week. ensemble members. And with the primary run kind of hanging in there around the mean. Then after we get past next Monday, things kind of go to heck. And there's quite a bit of uncertainty. You've got a day where one model predicts a high of 71 and one predicts, temperature 15 at the same time. So 60-degree spread doesn't give me confidence in that what's going to happen later on in the week. Okay. And then even longer term, it seems to be gets more certain again. But this is the time later next week where I guess if anything could save February, that's our hope. But it certainly doesn't look like a lot of excitement. Let's go to the GFS. It actually has less spread between its members, but it has the same idea. A little warmer on Thursday in some of the members, but we're over 60 for 2 days in February, which is unusual. And then there's our cold spell, and then this goes out 16 days. So when I get in fantasy land, well, it's fantasy because it's all over the place. Want to look at snow? Let's look at snow. I like looking at the European snow depth. So let's see if I can find that here. Precipitation, snow depth. So do any members of the European ensemble call for anything? Well, no, we're only to this weekend. Okay. So the storm coming through, well, that's 0.6 inches, the first line. So ½ inch at max is what one member says. Wait. This. Okay. So by next Thursday, there's one member, I wouldn't trust it. Gives us a 10-incher or something like that. But the vast majority of runs, not to get too excited, the max is about 9 inches. The mean is 0.9. So vast majority are below an inch, and that continues really. That's snow on the ground. That's a good proxy for how much will fall. So yeah, I wouldn't hold out a lot of hope for a snowy February. Oh, the E-wall. Yes, I like the E-wall. It's kind of, I do, really do. Okay, I did like the E-wall, but now it's given up on me. That's too bad. Okay, let's just move on past the E-wall. All right. So a couple things, just go over a forecast summary, and then I want to just hear what you think about March, especially the crusty old forecasters in the room. So unusually sunny, which means, an hour or more of sunshine today. So we've already had that, so it's a safe forecast, I think. We'll get near 50, probably not quite to 50. Be near freezing tonight, which is way above average. Might feel chilly, but it isn't. A repeat of today, tomorrow, pretty much. Maybe a little more sun. Wednesday is hooky day, but go to class. I'm sure there's important things to learn. There'll be sunshine. It'll be over 60 probably, but that particular day, the record's 74 as well. So we're not gonna get there. Thursday looks warm as well, but it'll be showery. Be at least a chance of rain during most of the day. Cool shot Friday and Saturday with maybe a couple flurries. Not too exciting. Climate Prediction Center, I just stole these this morning. They're a couple days old by now, but you've already seen this 6 to 10 day trend, which gets us out to the 22nd of the month, and the 8 to 14, which gets us just about to the end of the month. Not screaming cold. Although the trend is, you kind of want to be where the core of cold is here, and it's kind of near average here, and then maybe that suggests a storm track up the coast. So could we be inching toward it for March? Am I dreaming? Probably. All right, so it'll get warmer again to start next week, and then uncertainty increases. We already saw that. But there'll be many more above average days in February. I don't mean relative to cold days. There's going to be a lot more. And yes, there'll be more above average than below average. March does seem very uncertain. Couple things, and John, you can speak to this as well as anybody. I think it's pretty hard to maintain 3 warm months in a row. So we're going to have a pretty big departure in February. We had a 10+ degree departure in January. So that I could have researched. I didn't check how many times we run a substantial departure one way or the other for 3 months here, but I bet it's very infrequent. So that could argue for at least colder weather in March. Stratospheric warming, you know, some people are hyping that. I am not a predictor of stratospheric warming events. I don't know that it'll happen, but at least it's being talked about as a fly in the ointment for later this month into March. And what does the stratospheric warming do? What the heck does that mean? Anybody want to fill in the group?
What was that?
What stratospheric warming? Why would we care?
Yeah, so I think it's when the stratosphere is warming significantly
Okay.
in the Arctic, and it's causing the polar vortex to weaken, so then pieces can break off and give us false hopes of snow.
Or maybe a hope of snow. Thank you. Feeling good. Yeah, if you warm the Arctic and you decrease the north-south temperature gradient, you can get undulations in the jet stream and chunks of cold air can get down here. It could get interesting if a chunk comes when the moisture comes and we get some snow. We'll see. And like I said, law of averages. March is, if you like snow, has sucked for a long time. So maybe we'll just get a good one because we're overdue. Okay. So southern stratospheric warming talked about. Well, here's from February 25th to March 10th. We're just getting into March. Climate Prediction Center takes us out of the warmth, has an area of above average precip close by, and that's about as excited as you can get right now. So yeah, you're saying there's a chance, I guess, that we could end up with an above average snowfall for March. Very unlikely to finish February above average since we only have 2/10 now. It's going to be pretty warm. But can't count March out. We've had several near 4-foot marches, so we'll see if we can tip it above average. And that's what I have for you today. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'd be glad to take any questions or comments about what people think might come up in March. Anybody? I don't know how fast that was because I don't have a smartphone, but it was pretty quick. Yeah, less than a half hour. Any comments? How many of you like snow? I know Dr. Neese does not. Okay, the bulk do. I prefer it at this time of year when it stays around and the dark, cloudy days look better with white on the ground, but we've already lost that chance. So, okay, so those of you who care and have looked, March going to be, well, are we going to get any more snow in February? Raise your hands if you think we'll get an inch or more. So we've given up. Okay. So there's a chance we'll get some. Okay. That's the contrary.
1 inch or more in February?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just 1 inch.
It is. That's right.
As you're saying, total is 1 inch between now and.
Well, okay, that'd be 0.8 more, but I really meant an inch from now until the end of the month.
It's only the 13th. Right?
That's right. And there was a lot of uncertainty, right? And there's, as you'd expect. So, yeah, I don't know. I tend to give up too, but I mean, getting another inch is not that hard. So Dr. Neese has a very good point. How about March? How many think March will end up less than 6 inches? Okay. So we've got a 30% chance of less than 6 inches in March. What about greater than a foot, which would be greater than average? Oh, nobody wants to pull the trigger on that. Well, I don't have an opinion, honestly. Marissa?
I'd like to wager that it'll be more snow in March than February. That's what
Who?
I know, that's a big one.
I will not bet against her.
I'm going out on that one.
All right,
I
Kevin.
think that's a good point.
It is.
I'll go with equivalent of 8 inches of frozen precipitation, but only accumulation of 2 inches because it all snows at noon.
Oh, okay. And that enhanced sun angle does the job on the snow. Okay, but yeah, versus, that's a good point. It's kind of hard not to beat that. Our average for March is not that much lower than our average February. But by April, we do fall off the cliff and it's harder to get much snow in April. We have had very big snowstorm in April, but it's unusual. What I think we're due for, I still keep saying this and I'll say it and I'll be dead before it happens probably, but we are due for a big May snowstorm. We have historic,
March.
May.
May.
I mean May.
No, we're not.
Yeah, it's just, we are so far inland. How hard? I don't know why we've never had more than a half inch in May. It's just,
No, it's gonna be like 30.
Connecticut has had more and they're near the coast.
Bill,
We're
I
due.
think if that were to happen this year, you'll have a graduation weekend because this graduating class has been screwed by COVID so much that why not just end it on a high?
Okay, let's predict a snowstorm.
If it snows in May, can we all over tonight and egg half houses?
Well, it's probably gonna be after you get your grades, so, oh, man.
But I think it's snows in May.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Cameron, thank you. Tasty cakes are here, so help yourselves. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks, Bill.
Yep, thank you, John. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, for doing a great job.
Let's see what they have.
You never had this?
No.
What?